I just tested 5 different AI video generators with the exact same brutal prompt, and each one handled it in a completely different way. By the end of this, you'll know exactly which model to use for physics, which one nails emotion, and which one creates the most cinematic atmosphere. Let's get into it. Both of these videos were generated using the exact same prompt, but with completely different models. And the differences only get bigger from here. So today, I'm taking 5 of the most popular AI video generators on the market and putting them through 2 identical benchmark tests. The first test is text-to-video generation from scratch. The second is image-to-video, where we're animating a pre-made image that I already created. We're doing all of this inside Higgs field, which gives us access to every single one of these models in one place. That way you can see the real differences side by side without jumping between platforms or paying for 5 different subscriptions. If you want to follow along, click the link in the description to sign up to Higgs field. Let's start with one of the most popular models out there, which is Sora 2. First, we're running the text-to-video prompt. Head over to Higgs field, click on video at the top, and select Sora 2 from the model dropdown on the left side. Now I'll paste in my prompt, which is a continuous tracking shot inside a luxurious zero-gravity Victorian tea room. A distinguished cyborg gentleman, half-polished brass, half-human, takes a sip of glowing neon purple tea from a floating porcelain teacup. He looks directly into the camera and says clearly, "Gravity is terribly overrated," and suddenly, normal gravity engages. The floating tea drops along with the objects around it, and the teacup instantly crashes to the wooden floor. Audio. Soft classical violin, crisp spoken dialogue, the loud crash of shattering porcelain, and the violent sizzle of acid-burning wood. This prompt is specifically designed to challenge AI models. We're testing physics transitions, micro-expressions, and native audio mixing with multiple sound layers. It's a pretty good all-rounder to test every aspect. Let's generate this and see what happens.
Gravity is terribly overrated.
With Sora 2, everything transitions smoothly from zero gravity to normal gravity. The audio mix is pretty good too. Now let's test image to video. I've already created this image of a mechanical jellyfish, so let's animate it. Image to video is completely different because instead of starting from scratch, we're giving the AI every detail on how we want our scene to look like, and we can test it a lot more on its movements. Here is my prompt. The glass instantly shatters outward, sending sharp shards and a massive chaotic splash of water exploding directly toward the camera lens as the heavy mechanical jellyfish crashes onto a dry wooden table below. Its metallic tentacles spark violently with electricity, frantically twitching as its internal neon lights flicker and slowly die. Audio. A tiny tink, a massive glass explosion, the heavy splash of water, and violent, sizzling electric zaps. And the result looks great. Sora understands 3D space, extreme physics with both solids and liquids, and temporal speed changes from slow motion to normal speed. This model's understanding of real-world physics is impressive, but it's not perfect. Sora 2 sometimes leans too heavily into photorealism. If you're trying to create something stylized or artistic, it might lose that vibe and make everything look like a documentary instead of the aesthetic you were going for. It is also one of the most expensive models, so it will burn through your credits fast. So if you're looking to experiment with different styles, maybe this model isn't your best match. However, the best thing you can do to use each model to its fullest potential is know what its strengths are and use them for those. Let me show you Sora's true power with a unique prompt that fits its strengths. It's basically a prompt about an origami paper boat floating through a flooded street gutter during a heavy rainstorm. The difference should be clear. When you prompt correctly, Sora's understanding of physics is something unmatched. But let's say you want your outputs to be completely different, something that most people completely overlook until they see it done right. That's exactly what WAN 2.6 was designed for, and it brings this gritty, film-like aesthetic that makes everything feel instantly cinematic. I'm going to run the Victorian Cyborg benchmark again.
Gravity is terribly overrated.
The generation was extremely fast. While Sora took at least 5 minutes to generate, this only took around 45 seconds. However, the quality is definitely not as good, especially when it comes to realism. For image to video, I actually really like the way it executed it. It's more stylized and less realistic than the one Sora did, but it's a pretty good result regardless. The downside is that it sometimes sacrifices strict physics accuracy to make the shot look cooler. It prioritizes style over realism. So let's see it in action with a more suited prompt. It's essentially a prompt about a detective in a dark neo-noir alley lighting his cigar with a match. This is way better. WAN 2.6 is the atmospheric storyteller, and if you're creating narrative content, this model is going to give you the results you want. But the atmosphere alone won't save you if the actual image quality isn't there. When you need that level of visual precision, VO 3.1 is supposed to be one of the strongest models out there, but the results were honestly more surprising than impressive. After pasting in the text-to-video prompt, the scene generated with the dialogue synced correctly, but visually, it wasn't as clean as expected.
Gravity is terribly overrated.
You can see a cup rolling on the floor before the gravity comes back, and the metallic textures on the cyborg's face looked a bit artificial and inconsistent, which made the overall shot feel less realistic than it should have. Now let's check our image to video. VO renders that transition perfectly, and you can see every single detail. It's really good when it comes to photorealism, but isn't meant for high-speed action sequences. So let's create something cinematic with this new prompt. This one is about an ultra-close macro shot of a chameleon sitting on a retro arcade machine, where the neon light from the screen passes over its body, and its skin changes color to match the glowing display, with the arcade game reflecting in its eyes. This is a way better fit. The details are all very clear and it all looks cinematic. Since the scene has slower pacing, VO can really focus on what it does best. But now you might be wondering if a model like VO 3.1 struggles to keep up with intense camera movements. Is there even a model that can do it? That's what I love about Higgsfield. Having access to every single model allows you to find a solution to every problem. So this time I'll click on the model selector and choose Seedance 1.5 Pro. Now I'm going to run the same text-to-video test.
Gravity is terribly overrated.
The first part is perfect, but the ending looks a bit strange. However, for image to video, it actually looks very good. The only thing I'd point out is the random lightning bolt after the jellyfish crashes onto the table, but aside from that, this is a pretty good result. This model has a very smooth and realistic feel, while the downside is that it may not execute on very specific movements. But for camera movement, watch this custom prompt. I'll prompt for a fast, cinematic FPV drone chasing a robotic cheetah. Following complicated camera movements is something most models struggle with, but Seedance is pretty good at it. However, we've seen all these models, but there's still a major issue. One of the biggest problems with AI video generation is creating engaging visuals, while still maintaining perfect consistency so that you can tell a full story. And that's exactly what Kling 3 was designed for. It can generate up to 15 seconds of stable and multi-shot sequences while keeping your character perfectly consistent. Let's run the Victorian cyborg benchmark.
Gravity is terribly overrated.
I really like the whole feel to it. It's the first one that had our cyborg floating as well, but he didn't end up falling alongside the cups, which was slightly disappointing. For image to video, Kling successfully maintains the exact mechanical details of the jellyfish. It also has realistic physics and enhanced audio, so it works with this prompt better. The main issue is that it's not always as strong at rendering complex high-speed fluid dynamics like water and glass in comparison to the other models. But for a long-form narrative that really showcases its abilities, let's switch it up and try this prompt. This is perfect. Kling cuts from the raccoon firing the bazooka to the vault blowing open, exposing a pile of golden trash. It then ends on a close-up of the raccoon reacting. The raccoon stays perfectly consistent and the character identity never breaks. The thing with AI video generators is that none of them are bad. They just excel at different things, and if you're serious about AI creation, you're limiting yourself by just sticking with one. And with Higgsfield, you get access to all of these models in one place so you can have a full creative toolkit without needing to pay for every subscription individually. If you want to start testing these models yourself and see which one fits your workflow best, click the link in the description to try Higgsfield. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next one.